one of the reasons I call this holographic breathing is that the face is a replica of the body and the different areas of the body and down to every cell. And the jaw, at least the back of the jaw, some more deep earth energies and more to do with the pelvis. And you've got the chin, it's more the fire energies, towards the pubic bone and the ovaries, testes, this area. Also, if you look at the nasal passageways, this is a bit like a heart, and the roof of the mouth is a bit like a diaphragm. This is also the fire energies. You come forwards into the nose, and that's that yellow energies. We move into these, and these are like the lungs. It's like two lungs on top of the diaphragm with the heart in between. And then the eyes are more to do with the brain and the higher energies. And you can't see it very well from this picture because it's got the muscles of the eyes, but the eye sockets also make, in a way, another sinus a bit similar to the maxillary sinuses. So there's a lot of exchange between these two areas. So we are going to be working into these sinuses. One of the ways I discovered holographic breathing, well, I was dying of Lyme's disease, and someone had recommended a dentist to me, and I just went to him because I wanted to get rid of the amalgam, but he also did orthodontics to rearrange people's faces, and he told me my whole maxilla was pulled back. And that meant that the jaw was pulled back because the jaw is behind the upper teeth. And that was restricting the TMJs. And that was going to be 5 years of orthodontics and £15,000 to fix that. And I decided not to go that route, but to fix it with breathing. And I would breathe into this area of the maxilla because I saw it as lungs. And a very interesting thing, I didn't have the movement of the jaw then, but I'd breathe into the maxilla as if it was breathing, just on its own. I had that facility. I taught Tai Chi for 20 years and breathing Qigong, so I was quite adept with taking the breath to different areas. So I breathed that area. And instantly, as I described before, it would activate the cranial fluid. And the whole brain and cranium and cranial fluid would start releasing toxins. And I was dying of Lyme's disease, which attacks, or in me, attacked the brain and the neural system. So it's a big, big relief to feel that releasing. And I was seeing a cranial lady. I said, look, I'll do this breathing and you tell me what's happening. It wasn't the holographic breathing yet. And I would start doing it and she would say, oh, you've gone into what's called a still point. You've gone into a still point and all of your cranial fluid is potentizing and releasing different traumas and things from your brain. And I'd stop breathing like that. And she said, oh, it's stopped. You've come out of the still point. So I could straight away see it was activating through the whole cranium and through the whole brain. And this coincided with a lot of things. I'd kind of had a Kundalini rising that had gone on for about 2 months. And I was just coming to the end of that. And luckily at the time, I thought, my God, I'm coming back to some kind of sanity. And I was just breathing really lightly one night with this breath through the sinuses, and it was energizing the brain, but it wasn't really releasing. It just built and built. And I thought, oh, how do I get around this? I just did it lighter and lighter for about half an hour. And at a certain point, all of that energy in my brain just popped. You could hear it like a light bulb going off. And there was a big flash of light, and this energy came down. And all of this energy that had been building in my brain released through the face, down through the teeth. It felt as if my teeth were coming out of my sockets because it had built up for half an hour. And all of that energy came down into the jaw. And as soon as it lit up the jaw energetically, the movement of the mouth started. It pulled my tongue up onto the roof of the mouth, pulled the lips closed. On the in-breath, the jaw gently opened. On the out-breath, the jaw gently closed. And the holographic breathing just started. That facility of the movement in the jaw just started. And I was like, wow, this feels amazing. What's happened? And I carried on doing that movement, that breathing. And the whole way that I've been breathing with my maxilla and with the maxillary sinuses, I no longer had to do that, because this whole functioning dynamic of the movement of the mouth was automatically breathing maxilla. The maxilla was breathing this motion of the mouth. And I watched this motion just travel through my whole body, and everything started breathing. And it gave me this access to this light coming through and a connection to the earth. So in a way, what we're working with today was fundamental in holographic breathing started. And one of the other reasons it came through so strongly is that the whole central part of the face is more to do with the emotional body and the chest and the feelings of that area. The jaw is more to do with the hara. So it built up more in the emotional body and in the emotional body of the brain. And it kept building until it got stuck. And that lightning coming through was that energy just grounding to earth. It built up and built up, and then it released to earth, which is the jaw. So it was a function of that energy grounding itself. And as it did, it started that cellular motion that I think is intrinsic in everybody.